2019 Harris County Board of Commissioners meeting. And we'd like to open our meetings with an invocation. So if you will join me in prayer, please. Lord, we come to you today to thank you for the many blessings of this day, the blessings that we know are ours to come tomorrow. And Lord, we ask that you provide a hedge of protection around those who provide safety for us and ensure our freedom every day. Help us to have wisdom and compassion in the decisions that this board makes for our neighbors. All these things we ask in your name. Amen. And Commissioner Zerman will lead us in the pledge.
Can you please join me? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on our agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes of the regular session of February the 5th and the planning session of January 31st. We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. We have an appearance of citizens next. The next item is our old business, and I have one question under old business. Randy, do we know how the grant application is coming from Melody Lakes? Excuse Mark's the first.
Yes, Matt Smith and Carter Sloop Engineering are working on it feverishly. We've been passing a lot of information back and forth recently, but it should be submitted before March 1st.
Okay, all right, thank you. Under new business, we're fortunate to have Ms. Belva Dorsey with us today from the Enrichment Services Program to give us an update. Ms. Dorsey. Thank you.
I gave you a packet for information.
Yes.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to come and just share an update with you about the services offered by Enrichment Services Program. I recognize some faces, and I know there's some new commissioners, or new to me, I'll say. And so hopefully today you'll walk away with some information you may not know about Enrichment Services. So if you pull out the folder that was provided, we do have a copy of our 2017 annual report in the folder. We're working on our 2018 annual report, and we'll make sure that you get that report when it's ready. And the information that I just want to highlight for you is on the right side of your folder. There is a brochure that has information about all of our services that we offer. But I want to talk to you using the two documents behind the brochure on the right side. The first one is just a services overview document that lists all of the services offered here in Harris County. We serve 8 counties in Georgia and Russell County in Alabama, and each of our counties are different. And so for Harris County, we are providing LIHEAP services where we're paying, making a one-time payment towards someone's heating bill. And this year, we'll be able to offer cooling assistance as well. So there will be 2 opportunities for individuals to get assistance with their energy bills. We're also partnering with Feeding the Valley, the food bank, to distribute commodities on a monthly basis. And we also offer employment training opportunities. So individuals can get a scholarship in order to either become a nurse aide trainee, a CNA, a certified nurse aide. They can either get a certified or commercial driver's license to either become a school bus driver or a truck driver. And then we're also offering a scholarship for facility maintenance. We're adapting that a little bit because Pratt & Whitney is expanding, and so we're focusing a little bit more on manufacturing. So those are the services being offered here in Harris County, and we do have 2 individuals who represent Harris County on our board. So we have Chandra Brundage, who works in the school district, who represents Harris County, and then Lisa Scott. So if there's any information that you'd like to get back to our board, you can share it with them. And Dr. Andrews is one of our former board members, so if you have some questions about enrichment services, you can share some additional information. And then the last document that I just want to highlight shares the services that we provided in 2017, between the 2017 and 2018 period. So you'll notice that during this period, we expended $69,170 here in Harris County. So I think everybody sees the impact report that's there. In terms of the commodity distribution, we were able to distribute commodity boxes to 279 households during this period. Unfortunately, we didn't have anybody from Harris County to go through our employment training program, so we asked for you to help us get the word out about that, because we'd like to see more people from Harris County getting trained. And then with our energy assistance program, we did expend $69,170 during this particular year. So just wanted to make sure that you were aware of the services that are being offered in the community, and know that we're here to work with you to serve the community. Are there any questions?
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Wilson?
Thank you.
Yes.
The region.
I don't have any questions, but I'd like to say that enrichment services, the mission is to assist people in getting out of poverty, not to assist people in staying in poverty, but to give them a leg up, a hand up to get out of poverty. And having served on that board for several years, I can tell you that Ms. Wilson is an excellent CEO of this organization. Appreciate your work. Thank you.
I have one question, just because I'm curious. On the employment training, is there an age limit, either younger or older, or just anyone that's interested in wanting to do it, get them in touch with y'all?
So the youngest that we could take somebody is going to be 18 years old, so that they can get employed, but there's no cap. So if there's someone, you know, who wants to get trained, they can contact us and we can get them through that process.
Okay, anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And next, we have Gloria Strode, who is going to discuss some things with us about the upcoming census.
Good evening, everyone. The census is coming. We should be excited about that. Because when we get a complete inaccurate count, that means we're going to get our fair share of all of those federal dollars. In your portfolio on the right, you will have your Census 101, what you need to know. What we'd like for you to know about the 2020 census, and many of you have been familiar with this, and you probably heard this, Mr. Lane. I was at a meeting with him, and you probably heard it, but we got to keep saying it until April 1st, 2020. We want to count everyone once, only once, and in the right place. The census is about fair representation. It is mandated by the Constitution. And it is so important that we get that message out, because this is not something new. And we have a lot of our children that are now adults that were 10 years old, and now they're 20. And so we want to make sure we're educating them on how important the census is. It means $675 billion, and we want to make sure that Georgia gets its fair share. It's about redistricting. We know that every 10 years, those numbers will go to the president, and then they will start looking at things, and a lot of things will be determined. And it's our civic duty. So that's your Census 101, and you can share that with all of the young people, the seasoned people, your church members, but that's the quick cheat sheet. I like to share that one because it's very simple. Now, for the things that really concern you all, is on the left side. Since you are elected officials, we always like to show you the census tract map. Wherever we see red, red is not good. And Dr. Andrews knows that, because she was a superintendent. We don't want red on our paper. But when we see red, that means our response rates were not good. So to put it in monetary monetary terms, that means we left money on the table. That means people did not get counted. We want to, remember this, count everybody once, only once in the right place. But for everyone we do not count, I want you to look at your George Washington University report. It was not done by the Bureau, even though we're the largest collector of data in the world. But this was done by George Washington University, and it breaks down all of the various programs, and they're counting the dollars for Georgia. But for every person in Georgia that goes uncounted, we lose $1,339 per person. And you take that one person and multiply that times 10 years. So the numbers that you get in 2020, you will be stuck with those numbers for the next 20 years. Well, 10 years. Why is that important? Our grant writers use census data. So when the money comes, the federal dollars, then based on your census count will determine how much of that $675 billion will go to our state. So we have to make sure we're counting everybody once, only once, and in the right place. I have to keep saying that because sometimes there is some confusion among parents that have students in college. If your student lives in a dormitory, the dormitory will count them. So if they're at University of Georgia or somewhere like that, they will be counted there. Counting them in your household census is not the same as your IRS. Yes, they are your dependent. That will not change. But we have to count them where they're breathing on U.S. soil April 1st, 2020. So if they're away at college in the dormitory, because we want what? A complete and accurate count. We don't want to count them at home if they're actually at the University of Georgia living in the dormitory. Now, the other side of that, for those that have matured and no longer live in the dormitory and might be living in an apartment, we're going to need to make sure that they are encouraged to participate. In this decennial, unlike in 2010, I was here in 2010 doing this, a little younger back then, we were only using the paper. This time, people will be able to do it online. They'll be able to do it on the phone. And for those that are not technology proficient, they will receive a postcard. And if you like the hard copy census, then you can send that postcard back to us, and then you will get the hard copy. So it's going to be easier than it's been before. I was speaking to Ms. McMichael before the meeting, and I shared with her, and I will email her tomorrow as well, information on census jobs. The reason we want people from our communities to apply for census jobs is so when we have folks that do not respond, or we have people that live in very rural areas, we need folks that know the lay of the land, that understand the geography. Because when you bring people in from the outside, sometimes we're just trying to figure out where we're supposed to be and understanding the geography. But we want to encourage everyone to go to 2020censusjobs.gov and apply. So some of the jobs will pay from $12 per hour up to $27.50. It just depends on what the job is. So we have people want to keep it a secret. We don't want you to keep it a secret because we have to have 50,000 people to get this done, so it's enough work for everyone. But they must be 18, and they will have to pass the background checks. So we just want to make sure that people know that they can apply online. It's about 15 minutes. They will need an email address in that process. So I just want you to form your own complete count committee, and that's why I'm here also. Now, that doesn't mean your complete count committee will be out counting the people, because the Census Bureau will have to hire and qualify the people to go out and do that task. But what your complete count committee will do is to spread the word throughout the community at various community events. It's just pure volunteer marketing. We have an awesome team from Atlanta, and our region is very broad. The Atlanta region, we cover 7 states now. Since the last decennial, they The government went from 12 regions to 6, and so we picked up other states. There's 159 counties in Georgia, and so we're out trying to tell everybody, but that's a lot of geography, and that's why we rely on the complete count committees. So, Madam Chairwoman, if you find someone who is willing to volunteer, it's not paid, that will head up the complete count committee. If you would pass that information on, I will get it from Ms. McMichael, and we will put it in our database. And so whenever you're having events here in the county, they can just be there creating an awareness, however you want to do it. In some places, in rural communities, they are actually putting the census message on the back of the church van. Well, that works, because people go to church and they see the church van. Some places, they're actually putting it in the water bill. So when they get the water bill, it will say, make sure you participate in the census. It's money for our communities. So when we say, please form a complete count committee, that's just your community members that's helping to educate the community on why and creating an awareness. And remember, if we leave people uncounted, we're losing. Remember that number, $1,339 per person times that one person of 10 years. So we want to make sure we get our fair share. And Mr. Lane, you've heard probably 6 of us say that already. But you can vouch for us. We've been out here.
It's always good to hear it, though.
Yes,
It is
sir.
something very, very important.
Yes, sir. Any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Rice?
Well, you have your
What
cheat
about
sheet.
prison inmates?
Prison
Are
inmates,
they easily counted?
yes. Group homes, soldiers, those that are incarcerated, they are counted in the group quarters. That's a special operation. Even the homeless, there's a special operation to count the homeless people. And that's why we have people like myself with the partnership team. We partner with community agencies, and then we find out those, for example, where we have shelters or soup kitchens and things like that, and they'll say, well, there's a group of homeless people that normally meet in Columbus under the bridge on 2nd Avenue. And then we have some team members from operations. And so they're normally there between these hours. And so it's a group, a special group count for those particular. But my biggest concern is the college students. Parents get confused. It's like, well, I'm sending all my money to the University of Georgia and I need to make sure, but for the Census Bureau. And that's different. The information is confidential. We're sworn for life, so you can share that with your neighbors. If we share any information, 5 years in prison, $250,000 fine. And we're not trying to do that. And so your information is safe, 72 years. 72 years is the standard, what we used to say, lifespan. Anything else? Did I miss anything? So if you're having some community events, Ms. McMichael has my information, my card is in there. If we can come back and help participate or do something like that, then certainly if we are not scheduled, there's a lot of festivals, football games, anywhere there will be people, then you will see us there. Probably more than what you would like. But we want to make sure we get our fair share.
So you work out of Atlanta?
Atlanta is where my office is, but I'm really almost in my car. I was just telling Pelva, it's a lot of geography. 159 counties is a lot of territory. And then if you look at the cities and the counties, of course, Columbus, we're consolidated, but a lot of them are not. They're separate. And so the meetings are all different. And but yes, the Atlanta regional office is in Atlanta. But again, we cover 7 states, this decennial, instead of the 3. And there is an ongoing, I need to tell you this, I hate to be long, there is an ongoing census called the American Community Survey. So if people say to you, they got a census form, they did. But that's the one that replaced the old-fashioned long form for the census that asks you how many bathrooms you have in your house. Well, that is the way that they collect data, and all that data is used by grant writers, city planners, and people like that. So, yes, they might have gotten the American Community Survey because that is ongoing. The decennial is every 10 years, but the Census Bureau is collecting data and doing surveys year-round.
Is there any information like this right here? Would be great for me to take in my class since I teach to talk about the census. Is there any other type of information that you can get out to schools, or I'm not even worried about the other schools, just get to me so that I can use it for my students.
And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because we have what we call statistics in the schools. And each month and during the weeks, we have what we call fact sheets that will come out with great information that's good to be shared among the students. And many communities where it's rural, low literacy, or children from families with a second language, we have to rely on the children to get the message out, because they're our ambassadors. And if the teacher said it, and they take it home, then the parents will believe it, because the children are there persistent when the teacher said it. So we rely on that a lot as well. But certainly, I would love to, or which school are you in, Harris County?
Harris County High School.
High school, yes, that would be great. I probably will get more stuff than what you want. How much did you want?
I'll take whatever you give me.
Okay, well, I will make sure to do that.
Email it to me and I'll make sure you
I will certainly do that. Any other questions? We gotta get our money. I'm depending on you to help us get it done. All right,
Thank you very much.
thank you so much.
The next item on our agenda, on new business, is the first reading of the application for a beer and wine on-premise license. And the second reading is scheduled for March the 5th, 2019. The applicant, Wayne and Larry Adams. The business is Shorty's Barbecue. The location is 51621 Georgia Highway 291 Poison. Oh, yeah, that is right, 219, you're right, it's not 291, 219.
I just thought we got a new road.
Yeah. For a while. And the license is beer wine on premise. There were 3 recommendations from our sheriff's office. Recommend approval, community development recommends approval, and the health department recommends approval. There is no motion or vote needed. We'll do that at the second reading. Are the Adams present? Would you like to say anything? All right. Are there any comments to this application, either in favor or opposed? Okay. Thank you. Next reading will be March the 5th. The next item is a GEMA grant application for generators for 911 and the waterworks. Backup generators are needed at the 911 center, the jail, the community center, and waterworks. And grant funds are available through GEMA for such. The application is due March the 1st. This is a competitive application process, though there's no guarantee that funding will be awarded. The cost estimates are installation of generators, $1,021,850, contingencies, $102,185, engineering, $51,100, for a total project cost of $1,175,135. The GEMA portion would be $888,276. The county portion is $293,759. Some of the proposed generators are replacing old generators, and the generators for the waterworks sides will provide backup power in case the system goes out. Randy, do you want to say anything about this?
Just to recap a little bit, the county jail will be a replacement generator that's very old. The 911 center is a replacement generator that's very old, and that's in the budget this year. So we're going to delay that and hoping to get this grant application approved. And the community center is a new one because it's an emergency shelter and we have no generator there. And the other 6 are for waterworks. These are new generators for waterworks to keep the water flowing in case of power outage. Again, this is a great grant application from GEMA due March 1st. Our consultant, Carter Sloop, is working on this feverishly, getting all kind of information for the application. It'll be submitted before March 1st, and we might know in 6 months or 8 months or 9 months. It's a slow moving process.
Are there any questions, any discussion?
I'm assuming the generator at the community center is for emergency purposes, like we're gonna take people there, power's out, or like when the tornado hit the high school, that
It's,
kind of
it's a
thing.
place to go,
Right.
to, to take a shower, make phone calls, that sort of thing.
Chairman Langston, initially, on the information we were provided, the county's portion is actually slightly greater, it's 293,784.
780.
Yes, ma'am, the original calculation is incorrect.
Okay, thank you. And the authorization tonight is a request for submission of the application
Yes.
for the GEMA grant. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All of those in favor of submitting the application, please raise your hand. Motion carries. Next item is our GEMA grant application for the 5-year hazard mitigation plan update. The plan must be updated every 5 years to meet federal requirements of the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000. The total project cost to update the plan is $34,000, of which the estimated federal share is $25,500. The state share is $4,300 and the local share is $4,200. For which the time and the salary of Molly Davis, our 911 and EMA director, is counting toward the same. The authorization is requested for the submission of an application for the GEMA grant to be used toward the mitigation plan update. Ronnie, do you have anything to say?
Also, this is a plan we've already updated twice. It's a federal mandate. We have this plan. The funds are available now, but time is running out. Even though our plan's not, we don't have to do our plan again until 2021. Since the money's there, they want us to go ahead and get the application in and get it approved so we have the money to pay for it. So the county doesn't have to pay for it out of pocket.
Anybody have any questions? Ron? Okay. No questions?
If we do it now, will then that take the 5 years and make it come down?
No, we'll still be able to use the money in 2021. It's just when you get the application
We're just trying to get the money up front,
up front.
and we will still have that other 5
So we
years.
have 5 years.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Monica. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, and a second?
I'll say.
All right, all those in favor to submit the application for the GEMA grant, please raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the memorandum of agreement for all hazard, all emergency mutual assistance between Fort Benning County governments, commissions, and sheriff's offices. The county currently has an all hazard, all emergency mutual aid agreement approved in December of 2009 and is in need of updating. Fort Benning's been working on it for some time, and we have a final version which is ready for approval. And the document provides for a system of mutual aid and assistance between participating parties during an emergency or disaster, as well as in conducting emergency or disaster-related exercises. An official signing party will be held at a later date, but approval is necessary at this time. Randy, is there anything you want to say about it? No? We don't have any questions?
Well, if we don't approve this, are they not gonna help us?
Basically.
I mean, it's just
Anybody else have any questions? No discussion? Is there a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the memorandum of agreement between the U.S. Army garrison at Fort Benning and Harris County.
Second.
Second. Motion to approve and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Next item is the financial statement for December of 2018, and Clint Chastain, our CFO, is here to answer any questions. Anyone have any questions or any discussion on the December financial statement?
I'd just like to ask Clint, is there anything that keeps you up at night?
No, county manager and I were just discussing, we were looking at it, I mean, every department is below at the half year mark. And it looks well, the revenues are where they should be. There's not one thing really here that gives me any heartburn, but it's looking really good. I'm knocking some wood around here, but.
Had a good 6 more months.
Yeah, look, that's 6
Well,
months mark.
I'm almost
There's mark as well, so.
Our department heads are doing a good job.
Yes, ma'am.
They're keeping the budgets. I noticed that today. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. There are also requests for 2 appointments to the Region 7 EMS Council. We have 2 individuals who can be appointed to represent Harris County. And the council recommends policies, ambulance zoning plans, and trauma center designations to the Georgia Department of Health. And Harris County has, as I said, 2 representatives on the council. The recommendation is to appoint Jimmy Carver, the EMS Director, to complete a term ending June 30th, 2019, and to appoint Darrell Enfinger, who works for Harris County, to a term ending June 30th, 2020. Are there any questions since Jimmy's here?
Why would you not want the June 30, 2020, since you're the director of the longer one, I would assume?
We'll have to come back in June to reappoint. The council kind of fell apart with the state leadership meeting, and then we're trying to put it back together.
It was a lapse there for a while, but working it out, it would have been Jimmy's term ending December, June this year.
I got you. I mean, the other thing, you're our director, so I would want you to be there the longer.
I've been on the council about 30 years.
He'll get reappointed.
And Darrell also is a state employee, is he?
He is, but he works with us part-time.
So
He's always, he was very involved, so.
Yeah, he
I'll
is
give him a vote.
involved. He'd be a good representative also. Is there a motion?
So moved. I'll second it, just because it's Jimmy.
All right, there's a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor? Thank you. Item number 11 on the agenda has been withdrawn at the request of the Harris County Board. Next item is County Manager.
Madam Chairman, Board of Commissioners, a little exciting. Bid awards are always exciting to me.
Didn't take much.
I don't get out much. But okay, extrication tools, which is called the Jaws of Life, and the board has a picture of that device in here. It's used by EMS vehicles and fire departments and first responders to cut people out of damaged vehicles during accidents. We have three of these right now. They're very old. They're 20+ years old. So these are replacements tools for the 3 we have. Again, we went out for bid, and we got 3 bids on this. As you can see in your agenda package, we did budget $70,000 for these 3 tools, and the low bid came in at $54,474.24. The next low bid came in at $62,272.65, and we're recommending the second low bid for this project, for these products, with a delivery date of 70 days after they get the notice of award. The low bid did not meet the specs, and there's other issues associated with the low bid. This is below budget. It'll come from EMS budget as well as SPLOST 2019. And they will be delivered after April 1st once SPLOST 2019 begins. So money will be available. And Jimmy's here to answer any questions the board may have.
The low budget ones just didn't meet what we needed.
They did not, we got a hands-on demonstration, they failed in 2 areas, and the salesperson had never seen that happen. So that's kind of made me very weary.
I don't blame you. You get a bad taste in that.
I got some plans with them, I think they're trying to get you out something not work.
Plus, they had 2 exceptions to the list of requirements. They couldn't meet that requirement.
Any other questions? Any discussion? Is there a motion?
I make the motion that we purchase the 3 sets of extrication tools from Georgia Fire and Rescue at a cost of $62,272.65.
And I'll second that. So, all in favor? Motion passes.
Madam Chairman, Board of Commissioners, the next item is another bid award for a new sign, another sign for the Northwest Harris Business Park on basically the intersection or the corner of State Route 103 and Davidson Road. Again, the county has 2 signs right now on 103 at the 2 entrances to the Northwest Harris Business Park. This is a new one, basically at the corner where we have a little tiny stone sign to replace that little stone sign with a sign that resembles and is very similar to the existing 2 other signs. And the board has an image of that sign in your agenda package. Again, we went out for bid for the Development Authority on this. The low bid, Lang Signs of Cumming, Georgia, their amount was $21,830 with a 6 to 8 week delivery time after they are received notice of the bid. Funding will come from the Development Authority, so staff recommends approval to construct this sign at that location.
Are we gonna put this sign right where the little stone sign is, or are we gonna put it across have the stone sign and this sign here, or are we gonna tear that one down and put it right on top of it?
Our thing is to take the old stone sign out completely and replace this new sign in that close proximity where the old sign was.
Is it gonna cost us extra money to tear that one down, or is that all inclusive?
It's all inclusive.
Question, Lisa, you mentioned the corner of 103 and Davidson. Is that actually where you're gonna put it, or are you gonna put it at Progress Parkway and Davidson?
Yes, basically, basically where the old stone sign is, in that proximity.
Which would be Progress Parkway and
Davidson Road.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll say.
So we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor? Motion is approved.
Madam Chair, Board of Commissioners, the project updates. Again, the fiscal year is over half over, and a lot of the projects are getting completed. Again, the highlights, number 7, the board approved number 7 tonight, and that will be available. Those 3 items will be delivered probably in late April. Number 9, the 2 ambulances came in on Monday, yesterday, so they will be put in service probably in about a week after the radios have been transferred from the old units to the new units, and the state accepts the 2 new ambulances. Number 14, the recreation equipment, the field groomer and the mower have been purchased. Number 16, the backup generator. For the 911 center, again, we just applied for a GEMA grant to fund that item. So we're going to wait until we get, until the GEMA grant hopefully is awarded. If it's not awarded, then the board will see this in next year's budget. Number 19, resurfacing of Lower Blue Springs Road and Barnes Mill Road under LMIG. Again, that has been awarded and completion should be no later than May of this year. Number 22, restriping the various county roads, where their Public Works Department is getting ready for that project, and that should be completed by late May. Barnes Mill Road still have not received the signs yet. They've been ordered, but they're just not here yet. Number 24, the backstops at Moultrie Park. That project is in progress, and it's not quite finished yet, but it will be finished very soon. And we're making many improvements to Moultrie Park. Ellerslie Park, number 26. The playground started construction yesterday, but they're going to have to stop tomorrow right halfway through because of the rain. But at least the installation of the playground has begun. Let me see. Number 43, update the comprehensive master plan. That's ongoing. Number 49, Daysaw's reroute stream. That is again about 3-month delay due to weather issues. Number 53 was approved tonight. That's a 6 to 8 week out for that to be completed. Number 54, clear and grub 35 acres at the Northwest Harris Business Park by Public Works. We're waiting for the permits from City of West Point along with EPD. We should get those in about 2 weeks. And after we get the permits, the Public Works crew can then begin clearing. And number 55, the scrap tire amnesty grant. Again, we did submit the application to the Department of Natural Resources. They did receive it. They are reviewing it. Hopefully it's going to be awarded in the next 2 weeks. And then we can start advertising.
I have two things.
Okay.
Number 20, prepare to pave 6 miles of Holland Drive. Can we replace
Yes.
that with pits?
Do I now?
Can we replace that with pits? Just completely remove that.
Number 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Since we're not gonna do, yeah, but can we replace that?
You bet.
Okay.
Number 20 will be, I'll just take out reference to Holland Drive.
Yes, just take.
And put
that
in
out
the
together.
particulars for pits.
Yeah,
No
that'll
problem.
work, that'll work.
No problem.
And the other part, and I don't know if anybody else would like to do this or not, but these items that are completed, can we just kind of delete those?
Or put them, how about put them on
I just don't want to.
somewhere else?
Well, we could put them somewhere else, but I just don't want to kill a lot more trees than we have to.
I just love seeing things that are complete.
I
I love it.
Yes, the program will work for the years, so, yeah.
I don't want, I can put all the completed projects, well, either just don't put them in here.
I don't know, I just,
I like seeing it.
it's not that big a deal.
Or I can put the projects that are completed at the bottom and all
That
the,
might work.
and all
You
the
could group them
unfinished
all
ones on
together.
top.
Yeah, you could group them all together.
Sure,
And then we don't have to go searching.
sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
On number 14, are we gonna use the field groomer mower at all of the parks, or is there gonna be park specific, or do you not?
We're trying to keep them park specific
So-
and and only transport as needed. But basically, the goal is to keep them park specific.
Where are these gonna go?
Moultrie.
Good, because I had a complaint last night about the grass at Moultrie.
I had one today.
From them up there already playing T-ball. And I told them that they were getting field groomers and stuff like that, and hopefully they'll start working on it.
Yeah, Moultrie hasn't had a field groomer in years. It broke down and never replaced many years ago. And the mowers have not been replaced in a while. So these are replacement equipment that we haven't had in years. And the mower was, so all this has been purchased, and I know the mower's on site. The field groomer should be here probably next week or so.
What about the tractor? Are we not purchased one yet, or are we still looking?
We've not purchased one yet. We're seeing if we have enough funding for that. Because the field groomer and the mower came in slightly over budget, so we're seeing if we have enough money for the tractor.
Did we come in under budget or on budget repairing the backstops? And I know we replaced the fence. Are we?
Right. Well, on that one, we used other line items in the recreation budget for the fence, and then in the backstops, we should be at the $16,000 mark.
I will say the new fence looks good. It makes it look a lot better. Now we can just get everything else back up like it used to.
Right.
I think that'll help a lot.
We are being much more aggressive in the fertilization and the general maintenance of the parks. We're being really, we're being really aggressive.
Are you going to address any of these others?
Let's see.
The lost and the splost.
The SPLOST, as mentioned last time, was at a record high, which is good for December. Again, and the LOST and the T-SPLOST were record highs. The single-family building permit issuance, 16. We're at 126 for the fiscal year, so we should surpass last year's.
Okay, can I say one thing? I think this is another minor thing. But I know Brian's office counts by calendar. And it's confusing to folks sometimes, and they go, well, no, because the numbers are different. So can we make it uniform in his?
I'll make him do fiscal year.
Okay, just so we have one
Right.
number. So folks,
Sure.
okay, thank you.
And then the solid waste tonnage, again, that was a record banner month. For January, you can see we received about 1.3, a lot of tonnage in January. A lot of tonnage. And that is a record high. So, but again, all these make sense. Single-family home building permits are increasing. Well, what do single-family homes do? They generate trash. So, the chart on page 12 mirrors what should be happening on the chart on page 13. So it all makes sense. But with increasing homes, increasing garbage is going to increase more garbage trucks, more building inspectors coming down the pike.
Decrease landfill volume.
What's the maximum tonnage you think is our capacity right now that we can handle in a month? How close to that do you think we are?
We got some ways to go. Using our existing transfer station, our existing garbage routes, the garbage trucks we have reserves. They take a lot of punishment every day. We still have some capacity. I would like to see if, the routes, for example, private companies do this all the time. We've never done it in years. And that is to do a study to see if the routes are balanced. Are the trucks running efficiently? Are they backtracking? I know some places are pretty sophisticated. They can hire anybody they want to off the street to drive a garbage truck with a CDL license, of course. And they put an iPad in front of them, and they go along a designated computerized route that has been determined for optimal efficiency. Right-hand turns, the UPS kind of thing. That makes it efficient. We've never done anything like that. So our routes, are they efficient? Are they balanced with the other routes? We don't really know. Can we squeeze some efficiency out of our existing garbage trucks and drivers by using technology and not having to increase personnel in trucks? So I think it'd be really interesting to see. So I think we still got time, but as we can see, it's creeping on us, and we need to see that it's creeping and have a plan of action now versus rather than later. Does that make sense? So that's about it in a nutshell.
On number 43, which is our comprehensive master plan, it says the state imposed deadline is June 30th. But our actual deadline is April, whatever our second meeting is, right?
Correct. Because we have to have it completed and approved by late April, submitted to Department of Community Affairs. They're going to have time to review it through their processes, and it has to be approved by the state by June 30th for the county to keep its qualified local government status. So late April is the trigger time to get finished, to submit to the state so they can go through their processes and have all this stuff done by late June.
Okay, anything else for Randy? Mr. Todd's sitting in tonight, and Mr. Taylor, the county attorney, Mr. Taylor couldn't figure out how to be in two places at once.
Double booked tonight, and I'm glad I came on tonight when there's nothing at the county attorney spot. Glad to be here.
Thank you, it's good to have you. Is there a need for executive session? Anyone have anything else we need to discuss? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. Second? All those in favor?
Who was the second?
Okay. Thank you for being here.